Hello, 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 everyone. It is the Hungry Bleak Show where, excuse me, this is your go to place for the best in the Black indie comic book scene and, truthfully, in the comic book scene in general. I am your host, Antonio Pomares, and how have you been? I missed you last week. I really did. I know I was at New York Comic Con, hobnobbing and hobnosing and high nosing and hightailing it and whatever other terms they use for hobnobbing. Um, it was very nice. I had Friday was a bit for me, not so was a little much. Saturday was a bit better. Got to have some fun, what have you. But I'm here. I'm here. I didn't get to go Sunday, unfortunately, because it was a big snafu with the trains. And the train that I would take home, something happened with one of the lines, so it got cut. So I wasn't able to get home on time. I left New York at maybe 11:15. I got home at 5 a.m. I was stuck in Newark for about 4 hours. It was like it was like looking at Gotham. I went outside for a breath of fresh air and I was like, you know what? I don't want to see a question mark on the ground and think that the Riddler's coming to get me. So I took my little narrow brown behind back in there. And that was it. So yeah, but I'll talk about New York Comic Con a little bit. We got a jam-packed show. I want to talk about a lot of stuff. There's so much news that happened that came out of New York Comic Con, but there are two particular things I do want to speak about that really, really hit me and that I thought were kind of cool and amazing. But first off, I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching wherever you're watching, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch, whether it's on Facebook. I appreciate you very much. I did a live show today just because I kind of didn't feel like recording a show. I kind of just wanted to do a live show. It just felt better to me today. I don't know. Next week, it probably will be recorded because, yeah, what have you. But thank you nonetheless, whether you are listening to this on the audio podcast form or whether you are watching this live or later on. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Let's get into some of the comic book news. Okay, so one of the stories that really hit me from New York Comic Con, I wasn't able to go to everything, but I, was reading up on stuff that happened. And one of the things that is incredible is Erica Schultz is going to be on Rat City. Now, Rat City is a new sponsor is going to be coming out later on. Now, this is incredible for two things. One of them is the fact that they're going to have it's a different Spawn. This is the redesign of the suit and a different character that Todd McFarlane actually came up with, and also the fact that Erica Schultz is going to be writing this series. Now, Erica Schultz, who you may know, I know her. I was introduced to her through cookies. A few years ago at New York Comic Con, I was at a table and it was her. I think next to her was Ray Anthony Height. Then the Blurred Girl, Cara Mahorn came by the table. It was crazy. And she held on this really cool jacket that was after Winter Soldier. Like the arm was like was like metal. The sleeve was like metal, what have you. And she had like freshly baked, well, not freshly baked because they don't have an oven at New York Comic Con, but they were like home baked cookies. And I thought it was awesome. Ever since then, I've followed her because she's just done incredible stuff. Mandrick the Magician. There was also The Forgotten Home, Comixology original title, which I've talked about, which I think is incredible. Also, The Deadliest Bouquet, if you can see that behind me. I was very happy to be a part of that Kickstarter, which was awesome. Yes, this is through Image as well. So I'm very excited for what she's going to be doing with this title. Like I said, this is going to be a new Spawn, but someone who is still linked to Al Simmons. And the fact that it's, again, I'm going to say this, the fact is 2023 and we're still saying the first woman to do this, the first Black person to do this, the first transgender person to do this is wild to me. How has this comic been around for so long and we have not had a woman on it? Or anyone aside from a cisgendered man? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. What have you. But I'm excited for this. I'm excited for Erica. She's incredible. She's been just killing it out there. So I'm excited for this. I want to read this. I haven't read a Spawn title in I don't know how long. So it's been a while, but I definitely want to read what she's going to be doing with Spawn because I dig her work and I'm a fan. So congratulations to you and congratulations to Todd McFarlane for being able to get such an incredible creative on the title. on this new series, and let's see where this goes, shall we? All right. So the next one that we've got up is there was a story that came out about Ghost Machine. Excuse me. Okay, now basically, what Ghost Machines, you've been hearing a lot of things about, these groups of creators banding together, almost like another group of Avengers. A situation came up that they had to band together in order to blah 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 yada 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 yada. Yeah, I know. But this is Ghost Machines. This is going to be the first of its kind, creator-owned and operated and cooperative media company launches at New York Comic Con. This is also a part of Image. As you see some of the characters here, you can tell that some of them are from the title. Some of the titles from Image, and Image has a lot of like little let's say lines where Image you'll have Top Cow underneath it. You'll have Ghost Machine. Apparently, you'll have Skyline. Excuse me, Skybound. You'll have Shadowline was one at one point. You'll have these different lines, similar to how at one point DC had different lines. They had like their Young Animals. They'll have this, but they have like Black Label now. They had Young Animals. They had Vertigo. So similar to that, where it used to be like each of the camps when they first created Image, and they had like Wildstorm, and they had their different camps where they created different books out of that camp, out of that little hub. So Image is phenomenal for doing that because they're creator owned anyway. I mean, they're an indie company. They're a big company, but they're still creator owned. But this is going to launch 4 shared universes of characters, and you can see from the characters that these are ones that are already there. I'm interested in this. I want to see what's going to happen, and these are big names that are in here as well. So when you have big names like this, writers like as they're saying, Jason Fabok, Gary Frank, Brian Hitch, Jeff Johns, Lamont McGee, and so forth. Only thing I don't dig about things like this, and I'm saying this again. I'm gonna say it every single time it happens. I'm gonna say it every single damn time it happens. We get these stories about this coming together of independent creators to create this big thing. I'm always a fan of it. I'm always like, oh wow, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be huge. Let's see what's going on. And it'll be a whole bunch of white men, and I will rarely ever see dark-skinned black women. Very rarely, if ever. I don't see it. And I need, when they have things like this, I need to see that. I need to see you have this. There's a big deal. It's a big story, and it's the picture that they show, and it's never that. I think this is great. I love seeing indies standing up and knowing your worth and creating something great and cool and going forth and doing your thing. But when I see big companies like this, like Image, which is a big company, and I don't see that, I always have to look at it with like a side eye squint and my head back like, what? I'm going to follow this. I want to see what goes on. But again, I want to see more. I really want to see more of different shades of skin. Seriously, I don't know how to say it. Again, it is 2023. Almost 2024, truthfully, because this is the end. This is like getting to the end of October. Today is the 20th. The end of October. We should be getting more. And this doesn't make any difference. Excuse me, and this doesn't make any sense. To see that, the more things change, the less things are different. What have you. But yes, I will be checking this out. I want to see if they're going to be adding more names into this, but I need to see not just representation, because representation can be a false image. I need to see inclusion. Seeing is great, but I want to, like, seeing the characters on the page or on screen are great, but I want to see who's writing it, who's drawing, who's putting in the work, who's doing that. We need more, truthfully. But yeah, that's some of the news that came out of New York Comic Con. It was a really, really big show. Why did I sound like what was that? It's a really, really big shoe. Forgot his name actually. Old school talk show host, had the Beatles and everybody else on. Big Shoe, Ed something, Ed. Yeah, I'll figure out the name probably in like 2 days, what have you. But yeah, so there's that. Now, Kickstarters. Oh boy. There are some really cool Kickstarters coming out right now. I want to tell you about a bunch of them. Now, to piggyback somewhat on the story that I just told you about Ghost Machine and Image and being that creator-owned like cooperative media thing, and what I just said about there not being a lot of skin tone differences. Well, that's where some things are different and they change. Because we have, excuse me, for our first Kickstarter that I want to show, which I'm extremely happy about, it is for Shook, Songs of the Dark Sirens. So this is the second, I want to say, Kickstarter for Shook. And so I want to say this is going to be the second like installment of anthology stories, where it's horror stories, obviously, and it's by Black creators. But here's the thing with this one. I'm going to scroll down the page. You tell me what you notice, and I'll just keep my mouth shut for a minute. Okay. So, so we've got every. No, all right. So first, I'll actually talk you down to the page, because I like to talk you through the process. I think it's very important to talk you through it. So go down the page, and this is a project that they love, that Kickstarter loves already. Awesome. I love it. You still have 19 days, and they're at 66 backers. Great. $8,647 out of 20,000. Please go and back this. Absolutely. I've already backed it. When I go on Kickstarter on here, I never log in because I have the app. I just use the app. It's just way easier. So whenever you see me bring up a Kickstarter on here that I backed, it'll always say back this project like I have, but I already have. If I'm telling you to back something, I've already backed it, truthfully. It's a Kickstarter forward found. I love it. You can see some of the art. This is beautiful. I love black and white, especially horror, and Black people in black and white. I think it's just beautiful. I don't know. It's just amazing. So yeah, this is the second volume, Black Horror Anthology. And this is from Second Sight Publishing, which is partnered with Dark Horse, which is very important, amazing. But here's what I want to show you. Okay, so we get down. Again, look at that art. Oh, freaking beautiful. But let's go to the creators page. Okay, let's see who's on this. Let's meet the creators. Okay, Colleen Douglas. Hello there. Wonderful. Micheline Hess. You know I'm always going to be a fan of Micheline. Obviously, one of the best people possible. Julie Anderson. I'm familiar with her work. Diabolical artist. Absolutely love it. Aletha Martinez. If you know, you know. You already know. Yes. I geek out over her. Like, I spoke to her once and I had such a hard time speaking to her. I was like, no. We have Rebecca Wanzo. Okay. Yes. We have Reagan Buchanan. You're noticing something, right? Every person I've brought up is a Black woman or Black female presenting. That's what immediately drew me. I saw Micheline was on the project. She had put up on Facebook, and I was like, okay, cool, great. I want to check this out. I want to see this. So I checked it out, and then I started scrolling. I always scroll through the creators part because I want to see who's on the project, and I want to see what the team looks like. I want to see the different shades of color and range and identities. I want to see that. And I noticed it, and I was like, oh yes, because two things that I will always confer to Black women about. Actually, there are more than two, but I'll just give you two right now. And I've said this before. Anime and horror. Those are two things I will always confer to Black women about. Just because, yes, some of the best horror movies that have been recommended to me, Black women. Some of the best anime conversations I've had, Black women. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. So this is incredible. I absolutely love the look and the feel of it. An anthology, horror, Black women. I mean, I'm obviously a fan. As you can tell, Micheline Hess did an incredible one at one time called A Diary of a Mad Black Werewolf. And I absolutely love this book. It was like my book of the year that year. So it was phenomenal. So yes, I'm all for this. I'm a fan of this. And I'm ready for this to come out. The first one should be coming out. The first one, the previous Kickstarter should be coming out in a few, probably in the next couple of weeks or so. I want to check it out. But I'm excited to see this. I mean, you're giving me all these incredible creators. Bet I'm on it. That's what I love to see. So yes, I'm all in on this one. I think it's going to be cool. So please, as always, the link to the Kickstarter is in the episode description. So please go and check out the link, click it, see which tier you want to hit up, go from there. And I highly, highly doubt you will be disappointed, because I'm looking at that roster and it's just, and it's like just like hitters, all hitters, and I'm so happy to see that. So the next one that we've got, excuse me, I have a horse in my throat. Apparently, you can tell that joke amongst yourselves. Really, is the King's Domain. This is from 615 Comics. This is the same company that last time I was on, I did Evora Lee, that review. This is the same one. I really dig what this company is doing, so I'm all for it, and I love the art style of it as well. This is about a former boxing MMA champion who wants to put their physical training and their prowess to good use, and to be more like kind of like a vigilante setting, doing what they got to do. And I love it. I look at the art of this first issue. That art is crazy. I love what I'm seeing more and more about people using pink and purple. I'm not a huge pink fan. As far as the color, not the musician. The musician I actually dig. But purple, obviously, I love purple. So seeing them using more of that tone and those shades, I'm loving. I think it's beautiful. We're getting a little summary of Mahi's. I hope I'm pronouncing the name properly. Mahi's powers, its stats. Look at the suit. I'm loving it. That's just awesome to me. So I'm really excited to see this and where this is going to go. 615 looks like they're building a nice little universe here. I say I don't mean it in a condescending tone. I apologize. Is building a great universe here. Now you have 22 days left to go, and they're at 50 backers, which is awesome. It's great, and they are at $1,208 of their of their $1,500 goal. So again, if you go in, hit them up, and do it. Now for this guy, this one right here. This is, you all know, I have a soft spot for this cat, JD Rosario, as always. JD Rosario and Unstoppable Comics is coming up once again with a new Kickstarter for New York versus the World. Now, it has not come out yet. I believe it will be out next week. I think Sunday or Monday. But until then, go to the Kickstarter page and click on notify me on launch, and they'll notify you. They'll email you so you can get in on it. If there are any early bird specials, you can go from there, and it will be there. JD and the incredible crew at Unstoppable Comics always have an incredible roster of talents, and also an incredible roster of tiers where you can go anything, have some of the back catalog, t-shirts, there'll be t-shirts, there will be pins, there will be mugs and what have you. There'll be all types of stuff that you can get. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, I'm just saying. It's got skull art. Of course I had to get it. Come on. Thank you, JD. He actually gifted me that at New York Comic Con. It was his birthday on Friday. He was at the con, and I was over there talking to him, checking out what's going on, seeing what's out. I was like, yo, happy birthday, man. Having your birthday at New York Comic Con and having a day where you crush it is awesome. I absolutely love that. And I mean, it's one of those publishers. I look at them and I love what I see from them because they're awesome. They're incredible people. And yeah, so go and check out the New York versus the World Kickstarter. This is going to be for issues 1 through 3. It's not up yet, but go to the page, click on notify me. They'll email you when they've got it all set up, and you will be ready by then. You know what I mean? So on that note, folks, we're going to take a quick break. As you know what I like to do on the show. I like to run spots for people because I think it's great for you to find out about comics you might not be finding out about. So we're going to take this one real quick. Excuse me. All right. And I will be right back in about 30 seconds. All right. See you. Hey, what's up, folks? So, as the message said, please go and check out Planeta Blue from Dark Horse Comics. It looks really cool. I love anything that's kind of that's sci-fi, kind of spacious. That's like kind of out of space and on different worlds. I'm starting to like that more and more as I get older. For some reason, I don't really know why. It's a weird thing to like, but what have you. I'm starting to get into that more, and I'm digging it. So, you know what else I'm digging? These comics here. Now, let me talk to you real quick. Okay, so I'm going to do some reviews for you, but you also know that I love doing reviews of different comics. And you also know that this is a very inclusive show. I talk about everything from mental health to food to being a creative and sexuality, everything. I talk about everything because the geek culture has so many denizens in it of all nationalities, races, creeds, of all different identities. I love it. So because of that, I want to do a few comics that were for October. October is National Kink Month. Yes, it is. So I wanted to talk about some comics that are definitely linked to kinks. Now, I'm going to let you know right now that some of the subject material may be a little more mature than what I normally would put on the show. Just because of I wanted to really expand and broaden your horizons. Now, some of these comics I have not talked about, so I definitely wanted to do that. But I'm letting you know right now, before I start going into it, I'm going to give you a few seconds. But these reviews do contain kink in a graphic nature. Some of them may be a little more advanced than what you're comfortable with. As always, I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to let you know. These are things that I'm not necessarily into in my private life, but they're things that interested me to read them in a comic. I love that. I love seeing new perspectives and new things in there. Some of these things I'm not even going to get into my personal life because that's a whole sticky wicket, which could probably be considered a kink also. I guess so, yeah. So here we go. The first comic that I'm going to talk to you about, excuse me, is a comic called Hit Me. This is from AWA Upshot. Writer is Krista Faust. Artist is Priscilla Petrietes. Colorist is Marco Lesko. Letterer is And World Design. I don't know how many times I've said And World Design on here, but every time I see And World Design, I go, I know I'm going to be getting something great because I'm constantly saying it. Yeah. So this is a story of now I'm also going to be careful about the pages that I show you because again, some of them are going to be graphic nature. This is a comic about a sex worker who deals in BDSM, but towards the extreme end of BDSM. I'm not familiar with everything that is in BDSM, not my particular wheelhouse. Some aspects of it, yes, some aspects of it, not so much. But I found this very interesting, where she ends up being a part of this robbery of diamonds from one of her clients. So as you can see, as we're opening the comic up, you see her and she has bruises from a prior session. You can see the marks around her wrists, her ankles. That means that she was bound. Some of the marks on her body are from lashes, things like that. I love the fact, and as she has a bodyguard that she trains with, and who helps her out. He's actually very smitten with her, but she finds him attractive, but doesn't like because he's kind of vanilla, which there's nothing wrong with being vanilla. That's your thing. It just, he won't go to that point with her. So as we go through the comic, we find out that she has a client that she's going to go see, and it's not the usual timetable that she sees this client. On the way, we see her interacting with some other people of the city, and as she's going in to see the client, and she hears about the diamonds, the client is actually killed. And out of his hand drops his pouch, a pouch of diamonds. And we go from there, and it's her trying to figure out who took the diamonds, why, and why they killed him for this, and what's going on. And her bodyguard helps her out the whole time. I loved it because as you go through each issue, she goes to different people that she's worked with, or that she has been who she has worked with. I will say yes, and who she has interacted with, and how they can help her. And you go from everything from, there's, I believe he's a cop that she interacts with who just likes spankings, and that's very soft to her. That's mild. Then she goes to someone else who she's worked with who does, I'm trying to remember the actual term for it, but it's levitation, where it's hooks through the back and you're laying flat. I found everything about this very interesting, just going through it and not making a mockery of it or making a joke of it. It was real, and I found it to be genuine. And I like the character, kind of hard-boiled noirish, but in a world of kink. I found that very interesting. I'm just saying, I found that interesting. I did. And I like that. I thought AWA is one of these companies, I've mentioned them before, where they're doing a lot of really cool things, and I'm always into them for what they're doing. And this comic was awesome. When I first saw it, I thought that it was like a kind of superhero comic about her having powers and being indestructible, or being like a bodyguard or something like that. And then when I read through it and I read what it was, I was like, oh. And it took me a while to read it. I was like, no. Then I read it and I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Again, that was me opening myself up to something different. I was a little uncomfortable seeing the bruises on her body, but then I have to think about it as a saying, she's not a damsel in distress. She's not a wallflower. She knows what she's getting into and she likes it. It's giving body autonomy, which we need in comics as well. Some people like that, just like she likes being hit, where there are also some people who like doing the hitting in that consensual way that the two people, or people, I should say, have agreed upon. So I really appreciated it. I really enjoyed the story. I was happy with the end. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it doesn't glorify it. It doesn't glorify it as far as, it doesn't just make it a sex romp. Although if they did, it did. But it's a story about someone who that just happens to be their job. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. I liked it. So yeah, this is AWA Upshot. This is Hit Me. So I think it's 5 issues, but there's a trade of it also if you want to go through that, what have you. It's on Comixology Unlimited. So if you have that program, you can go in there, check that out. But either way, I'll definitely recommend Hit Me. So the next one is Unnatural. That's the name of the comic. That's not me insulting the comic, please. So this is out of Image Comics. This is from writer, artist, and colorist. Nice. Triple header today. Marca Andolov. Colors assistant is Gianluca Papi. Lettering and production is Fabio Amelia. Easy for me to say. Okay, so this one's going to be a little tricky as well. So this one doesn't deal with, I don't want to say BDSM, but kind of more of a territorial. In this world, this comic, it deals with anthropomorphic. I've never said the word out loud, so it deals with anthropomorphic. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Animals. There's wolves, there's pigs, there's all different animals. Now in this world, this city, I should say, it's told that you can only do things one way. Species and species. So a pig can't be with a wolf. A bear can't be with a chicken. You have to be a wolf, a chicken, a bear, a bear. You have to be the same species, and also cannot have anything other than heterosexual. So can't be man, can't be woman. There are no trans. There are no there are no gender fluid. There are no non-binary. There are no non-gender conforming relationships. So those are the rules that are set by the society. But people do exist, beings, I should say, do exist in this world where they do have those feelings and those identities. So as we open up on our main character who is having this dream that she keeps having about this wolf. Again, there will be there are scenes of sexuality in this as well, and some nudity. And it's her just trying to get through the day. She goes to work, but she keeps thinking about the dream she keeps having about this wolf. And here you can see, as I was saying, same species, boy, girl. It has to be that way. That's all they want. So she's going to work and she's sexually harassed by her boss, who is not of the same species, which is also interesting. The fact that he could be taken to jail for that. And one of her co-workers is also gay. And you can see how she's always thinking about this wolf and telling her friends, and she keeps having this dream over and over again. This story is very interesting to me because, first off, America is always cool. I love her art. I love her style. I love her thought process. I love to see how she just does things with sex and with those feelings, and not just the one-on-one male-female sex. She does things with different partners. I love that. This comic, I think, will definitely cater to possibly furries. Although I do have a comic plush, which would also deal with furries. But I've talked about that one already. Possibly even cosplay, because not obviously, but like role play. A lot of people like to dress up as kittens or cows. You have a lot of that too. So this comic would definitely pertain to you all, and I think you'd really enjoy it just in general. Seeing that representation again, it's not being done as a joke or what have you. Although this can be seen as some of it can be seen as a sex comedy, but it's also this adventure of trying to figure out having a different life and having the life that you want and how you identify, but also just having that way of being in that and being able to be yourself. So I thought that was really cool. So Unnatural, I believe there's Unnatural, and then there's a second arc to it. I'm trying to remember the title of the second arc. Can't remember it all the way off the top of my head, but it was definitely worth it reading it. I want to read the second arc too because I think it's awesome. I'm very, very happy with that. Like I said, I'm always trying to find comics that are a little outside of what you're thinking of. That's just my way. So the next one we're going to do is a comic called Sex Criminals. So Sex Criminals, excuse me. Sex Criminals is from the team of, that was my phone. It was very loud. I've got to be very, very careful with this one. Very, very careful with this one. This is from Image Comics. This is from Chip Zdarsky, who is obviously everybody's favorite. And Matt Fraction. This is a story about a couple that find out that they can freeze time when they're about to orgasm, when they're in that moment. So they decide to go out and rob a bank with that power. Along the way, they find other people that also have that same power. Well, we start out from the point of view of Susie, who is the lead character in the comic. I'm going to be very careful when I show you pages. Yes, like that one. So, as a teenager, she finds out about this special ability as she's in the tub, and she calls it the Quiet, because she realizes that time freezes in that moment. Now, we all have had that moment where it has felt like time has frozen. The best example I've ever heard of it, the best explanation I can think of that I've ever heard from it was from Deep Blue Sea, and it was from LL Cool J's character. He goes, you put your hand on a hot stove, feels like for 5 seconds, it feels like forever. But if you have your hands on your partner, For hours, it feels like only 10 seconds. Yeah, so in that moment, it feels like forever, but it's not, unfortunately. But what if it was? Because at times it can feel like it's freezing time. So as she gets older, she realizes about this ability and she becomes more adept at it. She grows with it. And at a point, she meets a guy who has the same ability where he can freeze, where time is actually frozen for him as well. This comic is very interesting because of the way it explores sexuality from a female perspective, from a cis hetero female presenting a perspective, and how they weave in, again, sex comedy. They weave in comedy along with this caper, along with this ability, and we find out that there are people who are trying to police this, and they go around looking for people who feel it, because when someone does it, you can still move around. Even though they've frozen time, you can still move around in that time, which I think is great. She meets someone who has the same ability by accident, and they end up being together and having this great time, and they're like, oh my God, you can do the same thing, and they're having a conversation while it's happening. I thought it was just really funny, and it's a great comic. And you're getting Fraction and Zdarsky. I mean, two of the best out there. This comic, I want to say, will maybe interest people who enjoy edging. You know what? Am I recommending comics for particular kinks and fetishes? Is that what I've done? Yeah, I think I have. Also, who else is doing that? Nobody I know. So yes, this is a series that's already over with. I think it had like it has, I think, two omnibusy. So it's got to be at least, I want to say, maybe 24 issues. I want to say the series is. This is from a few years ago, but reading it, it'll still be great. It's awesome. So go check out the comic Sex Criminals from Image. Like I said, it's in trades. You can find it in trades, or the omnibuy, omnibussy, omnilily, I don't know, whatever, folks. So you go from there. All right. And the next one is Wonder Woman. Threw you through a loop on that one, didn't I? Yeah. Still pertains to kink in a way, because Wonder Woman, how she was created, as far as the comics and the creators, and also being bound, being tied up. There you go. This was amazing. I got to be honest with you. This is from DC. Like I said, this is Tom King. This is the new series. I don't even know how to describe this series, but let me give you the credits first of who is on this title, because it's just it threw me through a loop, because I wasn't expecting it to go that route. I really wasn't. 1 second here, folks. Da-da-da. So on this writer, we have Tom King. Artist, we have Daniel Sampier. Colorist, we have Tamui Mori. I like that. Letterer, we have Clayton Cowles. So in this comic, we're going to get that Tom King treatment, but we do get some action in a really great way. Tom King, if you like superheroes and then being deconstructed, Tom King is going to deconstruct superheroes in a beautiful way. If you don't like superheroes and you want them deconstructed, you will go read what's my man's name? The guy that The Boys, Punisher. I don't know why I can't remember his name, but he completely just about destroys them. So there's a situation at a pool hall with Wonder Girl, and she beats these guys up, and because they're harassing her, they're touching her, what have you. So she beats them up. That night or the next day on the news, is told that Amazons are going amok. They're beating people up randomly, which they're not. So the country decides to pass a law and starts cracking down on Amazons and wants them out of the country. And they're rounding up Amazons left and right. There's even a situation where at someone's home, someone is killed because they found a new round. They've made a new round that will actually kill Amazons. Riddle them, goes through their skin, everything, no matter how strong they are, will kill them. And it happens in front of families and loved ones, and it's horrible. So Nubia, queen of the Amazons, tells them to go looking for Diana. Diana will not come back. She want to come back. She wants to find out what's going on. She wants to stop this. So she gives the sword and tells them, go back to Nubia and tell her I'm not coming back until I can find out what's going on and stop this. Sergeant Steele goes looking for Diana. Obviously, she's the most like the most noteworthy of Amazons. She's been here forever. Goes looking for her. She's in a cemetery, grieving. She goes, no, you're not taking me. This flip right here that is done is worthy of an N. Stephen Harris salute. N. Stephen Harris does the best like flips, like midair, like high air flips like that. That made me think definitely of N. Stephen Harris. It must be beautiful. And we get this whole thing of why are the Amazons being targeted like this? And how do you get rid of these incredible warriors who may not want to go? Even if you have these new rounds, these new ammo that will kill them, especially when they're warriors and so strong and incredible. Something that was pointed out to me by an incredible artist, Takia Marie, is she loved how the Amazons were not drawn as being so diminutive. They are big, they are statuesque, they are strong, they have broad shoulders and muscles and strength, and they're being drawn like that. I think it's even being more so drawn like that in this comic to just highlight how just impressive and incredible looking the Amazons are. They're just incredibly beautiful and again statuesque and just these pillars of everything. So, and we go from there. Now, at the end of the comic, I'm going to spoil it a little bit for you. If you don't want to spoil, turn your head away in 10 seconds. All right, that's your time. So Diana beats off this force of mercenaries and military that are coming towards her, and people are having these conversations about what to do. And they're talking about a monarch, a king. And you see this elderly man sitting here with a lasso, the lasso of lies. This may be something that has been around for a while. I haven't heard of it. So if it has been around for a while, I want to check it out. But if it hasn't, it's very interesting to me that you would see someone sitting there with a lasso of lies versus the Amazon's lasso of truth. Definitely enjoyed this. Tom King is that cat. Look, if you haven't read The Vision, go read The Vision. It's one of the best breakdowns of being a superhero, being human, and how someone who isn't human, but whose programming is based on humans, sees humans and how they copy humans' behavior, but in the most surface way possible. It was just exquisite. I have to read his Mr. Miracle. I have it. I just have not read it because, like I said, there's a new comic coming out every 10 seconds, folks. So those are my reviews. This one, like I said, I would recommend to anyone who likes a little light bondage, who likes maybe a little hot wax. Whatever your kink is what your kink is. I'm here for it. I appreciate it, all of it, because, that's it. So on that note, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Excuse me. And we're going to listen and watch this message from Zawina Chalet about her incredible murals and the art that she's doing, which is amazing. I had her on the show maybe a year or two ago because everything she's doing was so fascinating. I found it to be almost like a folklore. So let's go back. Let's check this out. And I'll see you in about less than a minute, 40 seconds maybe. Check it out. Awesome stuff. Outstanding. Folks, I will have the link in the episode description for Zuina and Michelle and her incredible murals. If you have space in your home, or if you are part of a center or something that where there's a space and you want to have a beautiful mural done, I highly recommend it. The work she's doing is just incredible, and it's just flourishing for her. And it's beautiful to see an artist really just feeling that vibe and that flow and getting it out there. It's incredible. I love it. Shout out to Zuina. She's doing so many incredible things, and all her murals are just astronomical, incredible. So, folks, hey, it's Friday. Let's talk about Wellness Check Friday. How are you doing? I know I didn't check up on you last week, but I want to make sure that you're doing well. If you're not doing well, I want to make sure that you're taking steps to be well. Drinking your water, eating right, or eating, I should say, truthfully. Taking your meds, whether it's a physical or mental ailment. I want you to be the best you that you can be. I've had a rough bit of a time myself, which is, it's going to be that time of year. We're not getting as much sunlight. We're not going to be out as much. It's going to be colder. It's going to be darker. Here in Jersey, it has rained every weekend for the past 7-8 weeks. I think it's going to rain this weekend as well. It's difficult. It's rough. So do what you can. What I'm doing is, this is going to sound weird, but I'm taking a little extra time in the shower. Just really, I'm not only letting my body become clean, but but my thought process is I'm washing off the day. Everything that happened over the course of that day, I'm washing off. Just because it feels good. It makes me go, yeah, I'm washing off everything that has happened during the course of that day. And then I put on like a sweater or a hoodie, I put on my pajama bottoms. If I'm not going anywhere, I'm probably not going anywhere. And I'm just chilling, getting maybe some hot tea, maybe playing some Destiny or some Assassin's Creed Origins, or even the Saints Row game, doing that and just relaxing. Also this time of year, spooky season. Spooky. So yeah, doing that as well. Spooky movies. I just got done watching, I watched The Fall of the House of Usher, and Flanagan. Jeez. Dude. You do not know how to chill, man. That was awesome. I loved it. Bruce Greenwood. It's just phenomenal piece. Honestly, stole the show, stole the scenes from everyone, but yet everyone shines so brightly. Incredible stuff. So yeah, whatever you do to help you feel better is what matters. So do that, all right? So what's on my plate? A few weeks ago, I was in New York with a friend. They were in town for a show. So I was like, hey, do you want to go hang out and eat something? They're like, yeah. So we went out. We were in Brooklyn, and we went to this place called Mad for Chicken. I didn't know where to go around there. They didn't know where to go around. So we're just like, all right, let's just walk around. We asked somebody in the neighborhood, hey, what's a great place to go to? Oh, go down the street. All the restaurants are there. What have you? Cool, great. Went there. We went to a place called Mad for Chicken. First off, you had me with chicken. I don't know what else to tell you. But they had this incredible menu of chicken. Obviously, it was a chicken menu. They have locations all over the place, which was cool. And I loved it. They also had a lot of different menus. Like I had mac and cheese with a rice bowl. It was a barbecue chicken rice bowl, chicken tenders, rice at the bottom, corn. I think there may have been kale in it also, and there was like this barbecue sauce, and I want to say a little bit of a sriracha on it as well. Phenomenal. My friend had chicken scallop salad, and they had something else as well. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was great. It had a really great vibe to it. And it was like all exposed wood and metal. I love that feeling. So if you have a problem lifting heavy chairs, don't go there. But I like the environment. It was great. This was on Montauk Street in Brooklyn, but there are other locations as well. The menu was nice, affordable, and it was a great place to go for not knowing where to actually go. So I was very happy about that. I have the link in the episode description, obviously, as well, for because they have different locations. But we were out, we were eating. You know what, man? I want something sweet to eat now. I want some dessert. What did we find on the way to Montauk? Again, we didn't know where we were going. We didn't know. So whatever popped up, popped up. We ended up going to Haagen-Dazs. Yes, I haven't been to a Haagen-Dazs restaurant since high school. There used to be a Haagen-Dazs that was in the mall near me. Hadn't been there in years. I like Haagen-Dazs. It's great, creamy texture. Love it. I only get it when it's on sale because it can be a bit pricey. That night we ended up going there. So you know what? Let's roll. It was I had chocolate chip cookie dough. Obviously, that's me. My friend had brownie. I'm trying to remember something, but it may have been. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was just like a chocolate brownie in there, and it was phenomenal, absolutely delicious. And it was only maybe a block away from them, but there were different. There are other locations like all over the place. Obviously, I had never bothered to look for one because I can just go right to my grocery store, and if it's on sale, I'll grab a pint. That's how I look at it. But it was great to go in there. And the other thing that got me about the place and why I also was happy to go in there was behind the counter. It was all brown skin, young, female presenting with hijabs. How am I not going to go in there and support and give this money to these incredible desserts that you have put out? And again, hijabs and brown skin. Yes, I'm going to say thank you very much. And they were so pleasant. They were so nice. They were so sweet. I think they had like a half an hour till they closed up. And we went in there and they were just, and like I said, incredibly nice. I would go down there again just for the ice cream. Also for the Madford chicken. Yeah, so that's the place that sticks out in my head. So definitely, if you're in Brooklyn Heights and you're on Montauk, go check out Madford Chicken. Then, like I said, maybe a block, maybe two, you'll go to the Haagen-Dazs, go in there and just enjoy it. It was so nice, and I just love going in. I love going into places like that and just going in and going, oh my God, look at you. You're all so incredible. Let me get this. Yes, please. Thank you. I love that feeling. That's awesome. So yeah, so mad for chicken and then go hit up the Haagen-Dazs. I had a great time. So yeah, so those are my recommendations of what's on my plate. Excuse me. So I had food was really good. I enjoyed it. I ended up taking it back because I had some in a bowl, leftovers, brought it back. Unforeseen circumstances. I had something else for my mother, but it got lost somewhere. So I ended up just giving her that bowl, and she said it was great. She loved it. I loved it too. It was great. Awesome. But let's take a moment and let me give you my thoughts on New York Comic Con. All right. So New York Comic Con was last week. I was able to go. I went Friday and Saturday. Like I said, Sunday I was not able to go because of a snafu. Life happens. So let's just go with that. You know what I mean? First day was a little much for me. I hadn't been in 4 or 5 years. And it was a lot. All the people there, everything going on, still got kind of COVID brain going, but I enjoyed it. Had a great night. I went there later that day because I wanted to make sure my mother was good from dialysis. I think she was good, so I went. Had a really good time. Went the next day. Got to hang out with my partner in geek, Michael. Actually, I hung out with him Friday too for the most part, and went around to each of the tables. Talking to people, having a great time. But I started processing things more, looking at things more. I think because of the people that I speak to and the thought process that I have and how I see creatives and the industry and how I look at things, it's a bit different. And so I started processing things. I went to a couple of panels as well, and I started pulling thoughts away from the whole thing. And it's incredible. One of the things that sticks out to me is Robert Kirkman. I went to the Amazon Prime panel, and Kirkman was first up on stage talking about Invincible. 20 years, 20 years. He said something very important to me. He said, when I first made Invincible, it was 20 years ago. I never expected to be like a TV show. I just wanted to make a comic. And that hit me. I was like, wow, made a comic, and it's this incredible TV show now. And look at where he's at. He's like one of the biggest of the big wigs over at Image, at the Skybound line, in Image in general, and also in comics in general. He's one of those cats. This dude, he crushed it. And I look at him and I think, I want to see Regine Sawyer up on stage like that. I want to see Newton Lelevoix up on stage like that. I want to see Robert Jeffrey up on stage like that. I want to see Greg Anderson Elise on the stage right now. I want to see TJ Sterling up on that stage. I want to see Greg Burnham up on that stage. I want to see Afua Richardson up on that stage. I want to see Ashley Johnson up on that stage. I want to see Vita Ayala up on that stage. I want to see all these incredible creatives up on that stage like that, because they're awesome. So even if you're making a comic and you're not making it for a TV show or what have you, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep building your foundation, what you're doing. Keep building on that base, because whatever comes from that is going to be great. But if that base is not strong, I'll always say, if that foundation isn't strong, whatever sprouts from it, it's just going to collapse. It's not going to be good. And then I went around to tables, and I was just watching people at first. I always like to watch the creators at the tables and them and their wares and everything. And I was pulling back information of what I was doing. And I was thinking of what I saw. I saw Cerise Rennie Murphy and Andrea Washington. They had table and small press. And I see these two incredible Black or female artists in sci-fi doing incredible things, and just every year growing, evolving, and just becoming more and more. And I love to see it. They're both incredible, and they both have their hands in other things, just not just writing, but writing. Again, that's your base. Whatever comes from that will be strong, and their base is strong. It's incredible. JD Rosario, what can I say? He was actually literally, they have back-to-back booths, tables, I should say, excuse me, booth table, yeah. JD Rosario, Unstoppable Comics. That's the family business. They are, to me, they're like the Fantastic Four of the comic book industry, because it's literally a family. And it's a family business pushing through and just, again, getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. JD celebrated a birthday at New York Comic. He celebrated a birthday Friday. I went over there speaking to him, offered me cake, and then offered me the glass. Incredible stuff. I love seeing that. You have Afua Richardson, who brought not just the artistry of her cosplay, which is always great, but also is doing her art. She's one of the most prolific artists out there. I love her work. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. And the day I saw her, she was cosplaying Maleficent and doing an incredible job of it. Awesome. And I loved seeing it. We have Newton Lelevoix, the man behind Dream Fury Comics, Crescent City Monsters, Keisha Demon Eater. Seeing this father sitting there, who is the father of filmmakers. Daughters are doing incredible things and phenomenal. And he's there and he's doing this thing. And I love going to Newton's table because he's always so very humble, standing there, and he has this incredible comic out on the tables, and he's there and he's doing this thing. And I love seeing this cat. He's one of the cats that, when I was doing the one-on-one interviews, just conversations, he was the only one that was like, can we talk about something besides comics? And we talked about One Night in Miami. That keyed me in on, like, this cat has a different thought process, and I appreciate that. I like that. TJ Sterling. A Sterling example, I know is his brother's like social media handle, but he is as well. This cat has pictures on the ready like like a gunslinger. Like they were right by his right side. He was ready to throw down. If you would, so tell me about your comic. You got it right there. Executive right there. He's got a folder right there of everything that he wants to do. I think it's incredible. Like he's ready. And he's this close. He's right there. He's right there. Ray Comics is a phenomenal, incredible booth. And this guy's coming from California, coming here to do that. And he's ready, and he's pushing out these books, and he's got the Kickstarter for right now that they're in the middle of fulfilling. They're working on it for Joystick Angels 2 and 3. He's out there doing this thing. TJ, man, salutations to you, sir. Seriously, you're out there doing it. Now we have Greg Anderson Ellis. This cat organized a Black creatives scavenger hunt. He had their names, he had their booths, and he was like, "Oh, well, you know, go here, go here, go here, go here, do this, do this. If you go here, you get this." You mark off the names, and you go and you get things from it. Dude, that's great. But what would I expect from a cat that does like camp counseling? Because those are things you have to do. And you're also a teacher, and you work with children like this. So that was a perfect. And the minute I heard it, I was like, "You organized this, didn't you?" And he did. This cat is the embodiment of hustle. He was a few tables down from Chris Claremont, so his line was kind of blocking Greg's table. Greg took the opportunity. Hey, I know you're waiting for Chris, but have you heard about Isnan the Worst? About this, the story of Isnan and his father and everything going down that way? And I'm like, do it, man, do it. I love 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 it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. So that's what I pulled away. And it made me think about where I'm at, what I want to do, where I want to be. And I've spoken to a few people about some things. Because I know what I want. Something might fall through. I'll pick something else up. This might fall through. I'll pick up 2 other things. One of them might fall through. But this one is still really strong. So I'll stay with this and go from there and see what builds from that. And that's it. That's what I took away from New York Comic Con. Not so much, oh, I got to do this, because I'm not a content creator. I'm not a content farm. That's not what you're going to get here. If you're here for a million TikToks and shorts and all this mess, you're not going to get it. You're not. But if you're looking for analysis, if you're looking for in-depth stuff, if you're looking for a little something different, if you're looking for indie, if you're looking for random conversations, if you're looking for things that I have no idea where that even came from to what I said, like what I just said right now didn't even make any sense. I don't know where that came from. Then this is where you're at. This is where you need to be at. So yeah, that was what I got from New York Comic Con. And I hope to keep going and to keep doing these things, but I'm also can't do it every day, I think, you know. But I have a couple of goals that I've set for myself for New York Comic Con. How about me up on a big stage, moderating a panel? Let's see if we can make that happen next year. Who knows? Maybe the short kid from Jersey will do it, right? All right. So on that note, folks, we're going to take one more break. We're going to hear from Keith Cross for his Kickstarter for Day Black reparations. All right. And then we're going to be right back. Oops, excuse me. And we're going to say our goodbyes. Well, not our goodbyes, more I'll see you laters. So let's hear from Keith and the crew. Sorry. You know what? I'm not sorry, because that was really, really good. I enjoy that. Awesome. So Look, the pilot program is still going on. I'm enjoying it. Whatever you're sending me, as long as I don't get flagged for the music, I'll put up. This is awesome. I love what you've all been sending me. It's great. We'll have some more going through. But on that note, folks, thank you for anyone who has watched, listened, whether it's been live, whether it's later on, whether you're listening to the audio. Thank you. If you like, subscribe, share. Thank you. Comment. I appreciate that as well. My job is to put people over. And if I get bigger, I'm able to put more people over. That's the gig. That's the thing. That's the point. All right. So y'all have a very good rest of your day. Drink some water. Enjoy the rest of it. I hope you have a great one. Hope you eat something tasty, and I hope you get to enjoy the last couple weeks of National Kink Month, however you like to get down. Consensually, obviously, because that's part of it. All right. Have a good one. I will see you later. Enjoy. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week. Peace.